This is Jazz from Rattleclack Entertainment, and today I wanted to show you a little bit about my Hurdy Gurdy. This is the first one that I've owned. It's from a company in Oregon called Altarwind Music. They build them custom out there. When you order one, you give them all the specs that you want, and it takes about 15 months or so until you get it. George Leverett, I believe, is the luthier that built it. I think that's the right word. This particular one has 10 strings, which I'll go over in a little bit. You can get them with more strings or less strings depending on what you want. This one has 4 capos, so you can change the pitch of your drone strings, and I have 2 melody strings on here. So the 2 that go up here are the melody strings, and I'll go over that in a moment too. So the Hurdy Gurdy, basically, it's also called a wheel fiddle, or I've heard it called that, because of this. There's rosin on this wheel, and when you turn this handle, it rubs against your strings and makes the sound. I'm going to do my best to go over all the parts of the Hurdy Gurdy for you. I don't claim to be an expert, I just happen to own a Hurdy Gurdy. So I know there's going to be people that comment and say, you can't buy a decent Hurdy Gurdy in the United States, you got to get one from Europe. I've heard it all before, I get it. I'm not to that level yet of a player. However, I am looking at ordering a Hurdy Gurdy from Krakow, Poland, and it should be here in about 2 years once I order it. Anyway, so let's go over the strings and stuff. These strings here, there's 4 of them. They are called the sympathetic strings, and you tune these 2, and it's a little bit out of tune, but you tune them to G, middle G. You tune the next 2 to middle C. Yeah, that's way out of tune at the moment. But you don't actually play these. They just resonate when you play. It gives it a little bit of a, I don't know, a reverb quality, if you will. So it just resonates a little bit. I'm going to take this off just so you can see everything. So this next string, these 2 strings are called the burden strings, I believe. I can't really pronounce some of these words very well, so please forgive me. But this is the gross burden. This is tuned to G. It's comparable to a G on a guitar, like a guitar string, like G, 3rd fret. And then this one is an octave below middle C. And then these 2, these are your melody strings. They call them, what do they call them? Chanterelles, I believe they're called. Don't look at my serial number. Anyways, that's what they call these. This first one is tuned to a middle G, and then this one here is a lower G. And I'll go through that with you in a moment. I'll show you how these play. And then these 2 strings, this one is a lower G. This is called the moosh, I think. Moosh, something like that. Forgive me, again. This is the trumpet string, and then this is called the dog, and that's pretty neat. Nothing about this is super high tech. I mean, you know, there's definitely a quality to the build and everything. You know, you have to know what you're doing, but I mean, it's not like buying an instrument today. So to get these strings to touch the wheel, so right now nothing's touching when I spin this. So to get one of these to work, you press one of these buttons and it releases it, and it puts pressure against the wheel. You can see it right there. And then same with this one. Then for the melody strings, right now it's in the off position. If you turn it like this, it drops this one down, both of them, and then just this one. And what it is, you can see right here, when I turn it, it elevates and lowers the strings. It's kind of ingenious when you think about it. So now they're both on. Turn it this way, Just the bottom one, this one. Now they're both off. And now just the top one. There we go. Okay, so with this string, this is really technical. Here's how you do it. You take your finger and you pop it off of there. And now it's on. And then this one here, same deal. You just release it. Now it's still not touching. And what you have to do, this little knob here is attached to this string that pulls this, the hurdy-gurdy string on this little piece of wood this direction. So as I turn it, it applies pressure. And you can see it moving in. Now the reason for this is called the dog. And you adjust the tension if you're actually good at playing a hurdy-gurdy. And when you do the back and forth with the wheel here, it makes kind of like a violin fiddle, like rosin on the bow sound, like, well, not like that, but probably needs a little bit more pressure. You can, so hopefully you can hear that in YouTube world. And that's pretty much the tuning of this one. And like I said, there's no standard. When I bought this one, this has 10 strings. You can buy them where they only have one melody string. Maybe they have 2, maybe they have 3 or 4. Whatever you spec out, that's how they build it for you. These down here are capos. I don't use them very often, but let's say you want to play in a different key. Let's say I'm there, right? Then I can do this, and it just changes the pitch. So I have 4 of those on here, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the different drone strings, basically. One thing that this has that a good deal of them don't have, it has a fretboard here, on like a fretless bass, and you can actually use your, I don't know if I can do it like this, but you can actually it's impossible to do while I'm trying to hold it like this, but I'll try to show you that. But you get the idea. If you have any talent, you can actually use that. So, and then let me show you how all this works. So these buttons, so you play this like this, and all your sharps and flats are on the top row of keys. So these would be like the black keys on a piano, and then these would be like your white keys on a piano. And you can't do it. It actually uses gravity because these are all pushed up. Now they all fell down. So when you're playing it for real, the gravity will make them not rest up against the strings. These are your melody strings up and through here. When you press these, you can see where they make contact to make the different notes on the string. And that's how you get the different melodies. So if you're playing, let me see if I can do this like this. I'm not going to play anything good, just so you know. But if you were doing that for real, you'd be playing it like this. This one also, you can plug it in. You can plug it in right here, and you can plug it into an amplifier, and it's got different controls. So like this one controls your drones, this is your trumpet strings, this is your melody strings, and this is your main volume. So all that just plugs in a 1/4-inch jack, and you can plug it into an amp or whatever you like. I wanted to show you how you attach the strap so that you can play this easier. Even when you're sitting down, it's easier to use a strap. So I have these 2 here, strap locks, lock it into place. And then the strap comes around you and hooks right here. And when it's done, you don't even have to use your hands to hold the hurdy-gurdy. So the strap came from a place called Ancestor. It's in Krakow, Poland. It's custom made. They make you measure the distance between these and your waistline so that you can get a good fit. And I love the strap. Before I had this strap, I was trying to use guitar straps and everything else. It didn't work very well, but I really like the strap. They did a great job. Thanks for watching.